show. Today, we have an absolute legend and a perfect person to have on this week. Trick Shot Cop. What's the best way to describe what you do? Introduce you. I'm gonna let you take the floor first.
Uh, I mean, what I do is I just use my, I guess, talents to bridge the gap between the community and police officers. Because I'm a regular person, as you see, I don't have a uniform on, but all the things that I do, that's who I am. You know what I mean? And but I'm a police officer, so I want to show the people, the communities that hey, you know what, we're regular people too. I do what I can to you know involve myself within the community, treat everybody the right way with respect, and then but at the same time, because I'm a police officer, I know we're supposed to be super serious all the time. That's what everybody thinks, but we can be who we are at work. We don't have to change up who we are. And that's why, I'm not afraid to show me messing up or, act goofy. I do my dental reviews, you know, because I just want to, bring a light side to, uh, show people there's a lighter side to, you know, uh, police officers in general, that we can be, we are normal people and it doesn't define who we are. You
Well,
know what I
man,
mean?
I'm such a fan. We've been connected on social for a while now. I don't think we've ever met in person.
No, we missed the last time you were out here. I couldn't make it over there. So
But I'm a fan, and I know we'll make it happen.
absolutely.
But but at what point did you decide to start? Because this is who you are, this is who you have been, but social media hasn't always been there. At what
Right.
point did you decide to start putting some of these trick shots, putting some of these donut reviews on social?
Uh, I want to say probably about 2 years ago, actually. 2 years ago was like the first post that I ever put of me doing a trick shot when I was in uniform. Before that, I did do trick shots. I would post them every so often, and it was just something I just kind of stumbled upon. It's
Mhm.
not something I knew for a long time. Maybe about a year before that, I learned how to do, just started messing around. I was like, oh, I can kind of make these shots, and it's not that difficult.
Yeah.
uh, I used to be a recruiter, so I would go out to different locations to talk to people and let them know about recruitment events. We're hiring things like that. And one of my recruitment locations was actually a rec center. So when we were over there, and the
Very
person I was talking to,
convenient.
yeah, they were playing basketball. So I struck up a conversation with one of the guys while they were finishing up, and he told me that he's like, "Oh, I play baseball, but I have made a backwards basketball shot before."
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna show you something. And mind you, I'm in uniform, and I've never, done that before while I was in uniform. So I got the ball, tried twice. First one I missed. Second one made full court backward shot,
Yeah.
and somebody was
Crazy.
recording it, and they went nuts. Uh, my department got a hold of it, and once they got a hold of it, it made national news.
No way. So what
Yeah.
was your reaction when all that was going down?
Um, I mean, it was good exposure. I guess for me, the biggest thing was because I was always hesitant to even, let people know on social media that I was a police officer because I never posted anything of me in uniform or anything. I
Interesting.
just did me. But once I saw the positive response, that kind of, I guess, opened the door for me to say, okay, I guess it is cool for me to, show that I do cool things and I'm a police officer at the same time. So I got that, I put it up, and the response, has been positive pretty much. So
But
my department's behind me as well.
that's amazing. What were some of the other cops' responses? Because not every cop, not every cop is bad, but also not every cop can make a backwards half court trick shot.
Exactly. So there are people that, oh, you're just, you have people who want to say certain things and, you know, uh, oh, that's all you do. I'm like, that's not what I'm doing, because I started doing things off duty. I'm not at work when I'm doing these things, but I see how the positive impact it has. So I'm like, you know what? I'll spend some of my time, I'll throw my uniform and I'll make these shots, I'll post it. And my department actually, pulled me in on the meeting and said, "Hey, we love what you're doing. You said you're making us look really well. You're, you know, connected with the community. The community loves you. Keep doing what you're doing." Because I would never anything that I post, I basically make it seem in my mind, okay, if a little kid could watch it, then I'm good to post it. You know,
100%.
yeah,
Bro, you're making cops look epic.
I'm
I
trying.
mean, the best thing you could possibly do. So now, where would you like to take this? Like, what is your goal? What is your vision? Do you just want to unite everybody in the country and make them realize that not all cops are bad? Like, what do you want to see happen?
Honestly, especially because of what's been going on, just to be able to, have more of a voice within the community and within, the people who are, so against law enforcement, and they don't see these sides and all they see is the negative aspects. A lot of times I try and reach out to a lot of different people. I'll try and send them my videos like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Like, we're not all, you know, I understand where you're coming from because all they do, the media, they put all the negative videos out there and they just maybe put like a 2 second clip, but we don't have a full clip because they want to drive that narrative of, the police brutality and all the negative aspects when it comes to law enforcement. But there's a lot of things that we do that we don't even talk about. There's so many things that I've done, and I'm not going to put everything that I do on social media because that's not who I am. I'm not here to say, hey, this is me, this is what I'm doing. I just want to show you some of the things that I do because I involve myself in the community and I actually just take time to talk to people. And I think that that's a very vital thing that, as a police officer, you need to do. You need to take, let's say it's even 2 minutes,
Yeah.
Hey, how's your day going? That's 5 seconds, Hey, how's your day going? Most likely, I mean, even if you're not even, going to a call, you see somebody, I wave at if somebody's on the street, it doesn't matter who it is, I wave at them, throw them the peace sign, like, hey, what's up? And there are people that look at me like, who is this cop just waving at?
Right.
But that's just who I am.
You're spot on with that.
Yeah, because I mean, I know how it is. Even before I was a police officer, when I'm not working, I still understand how it is. You drive by a cop, you're like, am I going to get pulled over or what? So I definitely understand that. So for me, if I make eye contact with somebody, anytime you make eye contact with police, you kind of get a little nervous. That's just, I understand that. I've done it numerous times. So for me, when I'm in uniform, I'm working, I'm gonna just throw a wave, throw a peace sign up, like, hey, how you guys doing? Give them a head nod. So they're like, okay, cool. Now I don't have to be as apprehensive as I would have been. Oh, is he gonna turn around and pull me over? Oh no, he's just saying what's up.
Right. Because if it's not negative, there's no reason for it not to be positive.
Exactly. And a lot of times some people, they don't really have a lot of interactions or with the police. So if I'm going to have an interaction with you, I'm going to make it a positive one because they can go and tell somebody else, like if somebody's upset, like, man, this cop stopped me. Man, I just met this cool cop the other day, man. He waved to me. He said, what's up? We had a conversation.
Yeah.
I was like, I never knew that. And I've had people say that to me before, like, I've never met a cop like you. And I'm like, I'm just being me. I'm not trying to force anything. Nothing's ever, trying to press up and like prove a point. I'm just like, hey, this is who I am. I'm going to say what's up to you. We could talk. If you got an issue, we could talk about that too. I'll address it. I don't have an issue with that. And I think that's the other thing, not having that patience and actually having that ear to listen to people goes a long way as well.
What do you think, in addition to that, the police force in general can do to make things better? Like in your ideal world, is everybody a half court trick shot shooting? Like what is the answer?
And okay, and I'll say this because before I was doing all the basketball shots and everything, like this is who I was from day one when I just first got onto the department. I would always just say hello, talk to people, and this is who I was. I didn't change the way I interacted with people. The only thing that changed was, okay, now I'm doing basketball shots, but the way I respected people, the way I treated people has always been the same. And I think that, if you can approach somebody and have the idea or concept of, you know what, this is probably the first time I've ever seen you in my life. So whatever it is that you're saying to me, you're saying because you're probably upset for maybe another interaction you had with a police officer, or maybe you're having a bad day or whatever it is. So you can't take it personal. And I think that as a police officer, I've never taken anything personal, and I've always remained professional because our job is for public safety to interact with the public, keep them safe, and give them. I mean, if we're not the ones, if you see us and like, oh man, it's the police, like I don't want to live in a city where you're always scared of the police. I want to drive by and oh, that's the police. Hi, how you doing? You
Yeah,
know,
like it's the ice cream guy or something.
you know, in an ideal world, I know it's not. I know it's not possible. You know, but in some smaller cities it is. But I work for LAPD and there's 10,000 of us.
Wow.
So for me, it's I just try and be who I am, and I just made sergeant, so I'm a supervisor now. So now I can try and thank you. I can try and send the vibes out. Hey guys, when I'm sitting in roll call, I'm talking to them like, hey guys, just if you get a chance, just say hello to people. It only takes 30 seconds to a minute to say how ask someone how their day is doing, and just try and give them a different spin on their perception of who a police officer is. I think that's the biggest thing.
That's a really great point. What has the last few weeks been like? Because I know this is you were telling me before, this is like your first time off.
Yeah, I had a couple days off last week, but I was so burnt out. I worked 12
Yeah.
days straight and, working 12 to 15-hour shifts and, a couple hours of sleep and you're back up and getting ready to go at it. So, um,
It sounds like you're playing in the league, bro.
real, seriously, like you gotta go here and there. I mean, it was straight chaos. It was straight chaos. We were out there and, there's there's nothing wrong with, letting your voice be heard, because there's still demonstrations going on. I was at one yesterday and there were, 400 people walking through the streets, but they were peaceful. There were no issues. And all we did, we just followed and make sure they didn't get hit by cars. And that was it. We made sure that the path was open for them. It was clear. They got to do what they did and everything is fine. But when you get the agitators in there and they want to start, try and get us to react, now like, oh, we got a cop to do something. Now you got the crowd agitated. Now you got people throwing rocks at us, bottles, and they were taping M80s together in big chunks and tossing them at us. And yeah, it was wild. It was wild.
Um, do you think those are two like completely separate people though?
Yeah, because now I feel now we have the people who actually uh, are there for the right cause. They're still going to work. They're still out there, meeting up at City Hall, marching around City Hall, and they're very peaceful. You know, they don't, they want their voice to be heard, and I I can't say anything against that. I respect that, because that's their right.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you're safe as well. I mean, it sounds crazy from before.
Yeah, yeah, it was hectic.
On a more lighthearted subject, I want to talk donuts with you for a minute.
All right.
Where's the best like no, where's the best donut, but how do you rank the donut spots in LA? If I'm going to LA, I can only get one donut. Where am I going?
Right. The way I do, I used to, man, I love donuts. I blame my dad because I remember he took me through my first donut shop, and I was like, wow. I think the first donut I ever had was like a twist, like
Okay.
lace
Interesting.
twist. It was like the first donut I ever had, and I think I had a maple bar. I love maple, so anytime I'm rating the donut, it's my rating. I can't,
You can't speak for others.
right, right. I can't tell everybody, hey, you got to do this because I love maple, and some people may hate maple. I know people that are like, man, I hate maple. I would never eat a maple bar. I'm like, okay, to each his own. If you like chocolate, there you go. Me, maple's up here, chocolate's a little, down here.
Wow, that's bold.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like
just
that.
me.
I respect it. I
Yeah,
respect it.
but so I won a donut eating contest before, and I won a year's supply of donuts.
Oh, did you?
Yes. So
How many donuts did you have to eat to win that thing?
6 in a minute.
That's impressive. That's
They were fresh donuts too.
that's impressive, bro.
I didn't even know that the donuts
Small Dunkin' Donuts, or
they were glazed. They were
oh,
like good sized glazed donuts.
respect.
Yeah. So I went there because I thought I was just going to get free donuts. They're like donating times. I'm like, shoot, let me drive by and get a couple free donuts, and
Yeah.
that's my breakfast. But they said you could possibly win $100. So I'm like, forget it. I got there. It was like I was like the last person to go, and I ended up winning. So I'm like, cool. I got free donuts, and I won $100. So then these people told me to walk inside. I went in their office. They handed me this thick envelope, and inside the envelope were vouchers for donuts. Each one was for a dozen donuts, and they were all dated. So I got 2 dozen donuts a week for a year. So you do the math on that; it's over 1,000 donuts.
Yeah, if you had a nutritionist, bro, they would not.
They would have
Be
been upset.
happy with that.
Yeah. So it was. So what I did, I said, well, usually I always have my go-to donuts at the time, but now I get these free donuts. I'm like, you know what? Let me try that donut. Let me try this donut. I would go to different donut shops and different locations. It was Winchell's, so different ones had different donuts. So I started just, you know what? Let me just taste test all these different donuts. Like I never tried this one. Let me try it, and it kind of went from there. So I knew what donuts taste like. Now I could tell the difference in the dough, and it was crazy. I just
But you mentioned earlier, and this is a little bit controversial, that you put maple above chocolate.
I do. That's just me. So I know a lot of people probably get offended by that because I know chocolate is like for everybody else. But
I've always put strawberry atop the pedestal.
ooh, okay. You
Yeah.
know what? When it gets to like the fruity flavors, there's strawberry. But I've had a donut that had orange glaze on top, and it was amazing.
That's a very rare donut.
Exactly, and that's the reason why it was very rare. So I can't really say, oh, if you get an orange one, you'll love it, because I think that was just a real specific place that did that. But I've had crazy donuts. I've had people make me donuts before.
Really?
Yeah, I've like I would get an apple fritter, and I said, hey, can you put maple on top? They looked at me like I was crazy, but they did it, and that was the most amazing donut I've ever had. So, but for all you people who love chocolate, if you like apple fritters, just try and throw some chocolate on it, see how it tastes. You might like it. I don't know.
Very interesting. Now, I have to ask, are you an NBA fan?
Oh, you know it.
Now, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think the league should come back? Do you think the league shouldn't come back? This bubble idea is going around town.
Yeah, I mean, they. I look at it, they already got the ball rolling. I've talked to a lot of people about it. I was on the phone with my buddy yesterday, and there's people who are actually looking forward to it. And I can't say that it would be a distraction that would take away from the issues that are on hand.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's something that, because me personally right now is just hard to. It's just like people need a break, a mental break. It's just being force fed by the media. Like, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on, and I see people putting a post about, hey, make sure you check your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Well, checking your mental health is doing something, breaking the focus on the negativity that you're just being force fed. Now let's move it to something that's positive. The NBA coming back, that's a positive. That's a definite positive. Something to cheer for. Now you're getting your hopes up. Now you're like, some people probably haven't smiled in, months, especially because we've been inside, the COVID.
You're definitely right about that. And, there are a couple guys that don't want to play, but like LeBron wants to go, So it's
He's
like,
like, I'm playing. Patrick Beverly just said, hey, if LeBron hooping, we all hooping.
yeah. So if guys like that say they're ready to go, I know Harden and Westbrook are ready to go,
They've been working.
So, at the end of the day, if some guys don't want to go, they shouldn't have to, if they're scared.
They don't have to. They already put it out there. Like, hey, you're not obligated to if you don't want to.
Yeah, and the team should be able to pick up other guys. So,
And they expand the roster to 17, right?
I would have to fact check that, but I know if a guy doesn't play, they're guaranteed able to pick somebody up. So like the J.R. Smiths, Nick Youngs, Lance Stevenson, to keep an eye out.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's gonna be really interesting. At least they were able to, come up with a plan to, get the league back up and running instead of just being a lost season. Because that, I know that would hurt for a lot of people, especially like LeBron and AD. LeBron more than I would say anybody else because, he's on top of his game. They were putting in work, and then the season just got halted. So for him, the clock is ticking. So, for him to just go through a wasted season, I know that would be really detrimental to him. And I think that's another thing that's on his mind. He's like, we got to get it back because, you got to strike while the iron's hot, especially right now.
Definitely. And one of my points too is like for these NBA guys that are worried about um, it interfering with their own efforts to help the movement. I think that because their platform originally came from the NBA, when the NBA is happening, it only makes their platform bigger.
Exactly.
Whereas when you look at guys that retire, for example, NBA players that retire, their voice is a lot smaller than when they were playing immediately.
Yeah.
And the longer there is without basketball, the smaller their voice gets. Not to mention the fact that they will be earning a ton of money, which they can feel free to donate it to any cause that they support.
Hey, you know what? That's a good idea. If you really want to, help make a difference, well, now you're playing, and you're getting paid again. You can donate as much as you'd like to support these causes. And that was a really good point because majority of players, unless you're a mega star, you're like the LeBrons and the Kobe's, like the people that are actually, they're like generational. They're beyond, they're transcending basketball. So for them, even if they stop playing, they're still going to be relevant. But for majority of the league, your pedestals right now. So you have to use use your platform to have your voice be heard. And your voice is really going to be heard when they see you working, they see you playing basketball because, and it's, if you weren't playing basketball, you wouldn't be in this position. So now you got to use your position to, like I said, bring these things up. And that's what they're doing. So, hey, let's not forget why we were here in the first place because of the NBA.
Totally. And I think, the second basketball comes back. I was looking at the numbers for NASCAR and the UFC, two sports that came back pretty quickly. Or UFC didn't even take a break. They just did it on an island. Which is a savage move, but they did it, and the views were right. But the numbers were insane. So you have to imagine when the NBA comes back, it's just going to be tenfold from an attention standpoint. Media is going to be covering it. People like us are going to be going crazy watching some of it. And then, after a player drops 40 in their post-game speech, they're like, that's all they should be talking about. Don't talk about the game. That's your platform.
Exactly. Now you got that voice. Hey, what do you think about today's game? It was good, but let's not forget, now you got the mic right in front of you. You have the microphone. You got national attention. How many people are watching you? Because people are going to watch every single second of NBA action. I don't care if it's an interview. I don't care if it's, pregame, postgame, during timeouts, whatever it is. They're going to be fixed to that because it's been gone for so long. People are itching just for any new NBA content because now it's like everybody's just recycling old stuff and like, well, we need something new. We need something relevant. It's like I said, people are watching anything they can that's going on right now.
Like, I remember the first thing back was cornhole on ESPN. Like they were televising cornhole on national TV, and like these little kids with masks and like their moms were sitting like right there. It was so funny.
Yeah, get that.
Oh my god! But yeah, bro, I think
Joe.
Yeah, they got to make it happen because we can't. If it doesn't happen, then it's just going to be this negative cycle. And I like what you mentioned. I want to touch on it again of people, needing to pay attention to their mental health because of the just overwhelming negativity. And most people, they spend hours a day on social media, and what social media does in general, let alone times like this.
It creates this idea in your mind because, especially, the more you fixate on social media, the less you have this focus. You know, your blinders are on, and you forget about what's really going on around you. You know, so if you're just fixated on, especially if you just follow a certain number of pages, if you're not really out there just kind of seeing what's going on for yourself, it's like negativity, negativity, negativity. Now your mindset is, well, you're starting to take on a negative mindset. You know, and it's not to detract from what's going on, but we still have to understand that you need a release, you need a break, you have to, and just like for us, I mean, we were working so many days straight. Some guys were working, 15, 16 days straight, and our department said, okay, we're gonna go to a schedule where you at least get a couple days off just to get a breather, because the longer you are in that state, now your body starts to shut down. Your mental capacity is just like an overload. If your car starts to overheat, you need to stop it so it can cool down. It's the same thing.
Now, what do you think people can do, to find that break until things like the NBA? Like, how are you able to find your own, mental break?
Well, for me, the gym just opened back up, so
that's a great one. Blood flow is the best, bro.
Oh yeah. I mean, get out and parks are open. Fortunately, things are starting to open up again. So just get out there and just like I said, blood flow. Get some kind of exercise. If you're able to meet up with some friends, just enjoy some time together. So that way you're taking away. You do need to. I don't want to say a distraction, but you need to turn your focus somewhere else. I'm not saying, because distraction can be, deemed as kind of negative, but you can shift your focus to something else. There's nothing wrong with doing that, because we still have lives to lead. We got to live our life. So, you don't have to stay focused on one thing, because I feel like if you just stay focused on one thing your entire life, you're going to be in trouble. Too much of one thing is going to, it could be a good thing. Too much of a good thing is bad.
Totally. And I think too, like, if you're pushing for a cause, you're better off stepping back from it and thinking about how to best attack it.
Right.
And that can only happen when you're thinking positively. If you're thinking negatively, like, oh, like everything sucks, blah, blah, then those are the kinds of answers you're going to come up with, Whereas if you're able to, like, okay, let me work out, let me have a good day, let me play some video games, let me, shoot outside on my basketball hoop, whatever. And then, the next day you come back and you're like, you know what? This individual law is pretty messed up. Let me try to start some petitions, get people rallied around something good.
And sometimes it's during the middle of those things, because now your mind is, you're freeing up your thoughts, because now you're not so focused on one thing, and you could be in the middle of, playing basketball or working out. You're like, oh, something just hit me, and I didn't think about that before, So it is good to, kind of shift your focus into some other things, at least for a little while, so that way you're getting a break from all the stuff that's going on.
Bro, doesn't the last 4 months, each month in 2020 feels like a year? It's like
it happens, and then something goes on. I mean, every single month it's just been just this, and this. I mean, it's been rough. It's been really rough.
It's the craziest year ever. Like, the virus was like, I mean, it's just one thing after another.
Yeah. I mean, we had Kobe.
That ruined the year.
That was just like, all right, we're done. And then we had Donald Trump, with the whole "we may go to World War III" stuff, and everyone's like, man, 2020 is just
crazy.
Oh man, then we got hit with the virus, because the virus is already kind of like looming. We're like, is it going to come out here? Is it not? So we already knew about it over there. We're like, and I already knew. I said, man, if it's spreading like that, all it takes is one person to fly out, overseas or wherever they go, and it's worldwide. And now we see, how big it's, how bad it's been.
I remember watching something from Bill Gates like 4 years ago, and he said that the only thing he was afraid of not the only, but the main thing he was afraid of was an easily, spreading pandemic.
Yeah.
And that was it. Only because of how bad it was back in the day
Right.
when there wasn't a JetBlue flight every 15 minutes.
Right. And now this is so easy to transport it, and that's what happened. And unless you, I think that I read something the other day. I don't know if it was New Zealand or Sweden, but they actually eradicated coronavirus in their country because they literally isolated everybody. They closed their borders, and if you came into the country, like you had to come in for like essential business, they would monitor you for I think like 7 days or something.
Wow.
And they haven't had a new coronavirus um, infection in the last 2 or 3 weeks now.
That's so impressive.
Yeah.
We do that.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know why.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, that's pretty amazing. What's so scary now though is that, like even like some people I know, they just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
They've gotten to the breaking point where it's like,
If I get it, I get it. And I know that Arizona, when they opened up, I know people are like, man, I'm just going to Arizona, forget it, because they're open. I want to get out. I want to do stuff. And I read that Arizona is now, um,
like a hot spot.
they're a hot spot. So, it's crazy. Now we're getting upticks and, the states are opening. And I think they're not taking things serious because if they say you no longer require a face mask, well, just be smart and just still wear a face mask. Do all the normal things that you're doing the last few months so that way you're still safe. But now we can enjoy the regular things that have been taken away. We'll still be responsible. All these habits that we've developed over the last 3-4 months, let's keep those habits, but now we can enjoy it so that way we don't get them taken away again.
Yeah, man. Like I saw clubs opening back up in Arizona. Like, what?
Yeah, they have bars,
Big
clubs.
deal with that.
Yeah, and nobody had masks on. No, everybody was just close
Like,
proximity.
college kids, forget about it.
Yeah, they're like, I don't care what you got going on. I'm here. I mean, we saw how it was. What they were saying during spring break. They're like, I'm here. I spent my money to get over here. And the worst part for me with that was you have to go home, and if you live with your parents, now your parents are older, like they're more vulnerable than you are. So you may not even get sick, but you could take it to your parents, and now they're sick. Because
Yeah.
I don't think people will realize how serious it is. I mean, it's scary what it can actually do to your body.
No, it's super true. And you never know. Like so,
Right.
like a lot of people don't. Like they say, people with conditions. Sometimes you don't know what you have.
Right. You never know.
So it's
So
better safe than sorry. But I'm hopeful that we kind of get lucky, but that's
yeah.
about all because we're not being smart now. I mean, some
Right.
states are. Like I know New York's been a lot better. Like where I am in Connecticut's been pretty good. Although they're definitely when you go to the beach, there are a lot of gatherings.
Oh,
Um,
oh, gotcha.
we'll just put it like that.
Yeah.
Um, but but yeah, man, I'm definitely hopeful.
We have to be, man, because you know we hope majority of people are going to do the right thing. You know, and the biggest thing we hope for a vaccine.
Bro, that would be a game changer.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I mean, they say they're working on it, but you never know what's really going on. So we gotta do what we're supposed to do. We do our job, and make sure we're safe. And at this time, that's the only thing that we can really do.
Totally. Well, my man, where can people find you best on social media?
Instagram, Trick Shot Cop. I'm on TikTok, same thing, Trick
Bro,
Shot Cop.
I've been on TikTok. Real quick, talk to me. Do you love TikTok?
Funny thing is, I still don't even really know how to use TikTok. I really don't. Like I don't know how all this stuff
No.
works. I go on there, I put a video up. I mean, it's I just put it up and just kind of let it go. I don't even really. I see people doing TikToks and they, they're being very creative, and I'm like, I don't have time to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of ideas that I could do, and I'm like, but like the last, it's just been so crazy, but it's going. I see what people are doing. I try and pick up a little bit here and there, but I really haven't had time to like go on there and like really understand, how it works. I mean, but TikTok is like the new Vine. You have like the quick funny videos, and you got a certain amount of time, and the biggest thing is that you got to get their attention quick. If you don't, then they're like, "Oh, I'm going to the next one," and that's really what it is.
Quick. Yeah, and the algorithm. I mean, it's all just about watch time. People are watching a video multiple times, you'll win.
Right. So, and that's like, I paid attention to like a couple things like that. So just to, if it's either the thumbnail or you got to put like a little caption at the bottom, like wait till the end, or just small things like that, just to to see if, hey, maybe you will like the video. But a lot of times they see it like you got 2 seconds and doesn't kept my attention. I'm like, all right, I'm out of here.
Real quick, last question before we continue getting your socials to everybody. If you could go back and tell your 18-year-old self one thing, what would that be?
Oh man, that's a good question. Just one thing,
or a couple things.
Well, one, I would tell him to work out because I never worked out. I just played basketball, and I would always get injured because I wasn't working out. So I wasn't taking care of my body. I would just go out there, play basketball 4 or 5 hours a day, and not understanding how, physical fitness comes into, longevity. I tore my ACL, I think when I was 18, 19, so like just different things like that. I would always just go out there and, so that kind of derailed me playing basketball because I had tore my ACL and, understanding how rehab is now and the workouts are now. I mean, people are way more athletic now, just because, like the last, 2-3 years, it's just jumped so much in regards to like training and, I mean, everybody is like becoming dunkers now,
It's true.
And I'm not, and it's not trying to say that they're not hoopers, but it's now it's kind of like this is what you do. I'm a dunker. They may not even really play basketball, but what they do is dunk because now it's on. There's something that so-called as a professional dunker now.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
I mean, and sky's the limit of what you can be. And I guess that's the biggest thing. Maybe I would say that. It's like sky's the limit of what you could be. Maybe, hey, if you are going to be, if you are going to be trick shot cop, these are things that you should do. Maybe get it started earlier. Because the people that you're able to reach and make a difference with is, it could have been going on a long time ago.
Totally. Well, bro, you're the man. Where people can find you on Instagram at TrickShotCop, TikTok, same handle.
Same thing.
Are you on anywhere else?
I got YouTube, Trick Shot Cop. I haven't been on in a while because all the COVID stuff. So I'm gonna get back. But yeah, that's it. I got Facebook. I don't even know how to use Facebook, to be honest with you. I got one.
Well,
I got a full-time job. I got to figure out how to manage the other stuff.
It's a lot, but you do it well. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate it.